So from Meister Eckhart, what keeps us alive? What allows us to endure? I think it is the hope of loving or being loved. I heard a fable once about the sun going on a journey to find its source, and how the moon wept without her lover's gaze. We weep when light does not reach our hearts. We wither like fields if someone close does not rain their kindness upon us. Meister Eckhart. I left out a crucial word, too. How the moon wept without her lover's warm gaze. The hope of loving. What keeps us alive? What allows us to endure? I think it is the hope of loving or being loved. I heard a fable once about the sun going on a journey to find its source, and how the moon wept without her lover's warm gaze. We weep when light does not reach our hearts. We wither like fields if someone close does not rain their kindness upon us. And of course, the closest person is ourselves. Do we lavish ourselves with kindness? So let's remind ourselves of the refuges. Hang on here a moment. I just coughed and I had a memory of being in Pune, India. Pune, India in 1979. My then wife, my first wife, was a Lewis and Clark professor, and we took 25 students to India, including Doug Pullen. And every morning, Kathleen and I would get up, and some of the other students would get up, and we would get in these little tuk-tuks, these little noisy, smoky, two-stroke things, and we'd go tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes across town. And we go to the Rajneesh ashram. And we would do dynamic meditation, which was a very exciting, powerful thing. And then he would give a talk. And in order to get into the talk, you had to pass the smell people, and they would sniff you. And if you had any scent on you at all, you'd get kicked out. And we tried to kick ourselves. You'd get kicked out and go to the back. And the notion was he had allergies, and we tried to choose ourselves out and not bother with the ritual, but they required us to do the ritual. But also, what I was thinking of just now, Pune was then, I bet it still is, terribly polluted, the air, and everyone had upper respiratory catarrh, as they called it, and there was a lot of coughing and throat clearing. And he would come in his Rolls Royce. He would appear in the Rolls Royce. Everyone's waiting with bated breath. A lot of people, 2,000 people under a tent, maybe more than that people. And then he would appear, and this uproar of coughing would happen, this throat clearing. And then he would come in. And if you coughed during the talk, a 6'2" or 3" goon would come and tap you on the shoulder, and you had to leave. It was a little controlling, but I will try to remember at least to turn off the microphone when I'm doing my upper respiratory catarrh. Oh, there's one. It's Rebecca. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, Rebecca. You have to leave now. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. What shall our intention be? I intend to be mindful, to be aware and awake to whatever is. I intend to accept the nature, the experience of this moment. I intend to bring curiosity. Persistence. I intend to use the breath as a mindfulness and concentration object. I intend to be compassionate. we might sweeten the path with some remembrances of gratitude. Where does your mind go to think about gratitude? What pops up? A warm bed, a roof that doesn't leak, a refrigerator with food in it, central heating, no bombs or rockets. The Dharma, the lineage of teachers who bring us the Dharma. A body that can get around. A heart that beats. And hopefully someone to love us and to let us exercise being loving. So let's sit and come home to the body that breathes. To the aliveness in the hands and the feet. Let us notice the thoughts that think themselves into existence. And notice how thoughts, just like the breath, have an arising and a passing away. The body is the slowest changing aspect of a human being. Feelings, liking and disliking, thoughts, emotions, perceptions, consciousness, all are so fleeting. But there is this body that is experienced as sensations. Anytime mindfulness is present in the body, one is in the present moment. Right here, right now. And we can notice how the breath comes into being, rises to fullness, declines, and then vanishes. Notice how trance states occur. Opinions, plans, memories, stories, anxiety, depression, moods of all kinds. At first, we can't really know moods or thoughts. We're too deeply asleep. But then there they are. There they are. That's a thought. And this awakening to the Dharma sets us off on a whole lifetime of awakening. Illuminating somehow one thought at a time, one trance state at a time. Awakening to freedom. There is nothing to figure out. There's really nothing to achieve. There's just this, the life of this moment. To pay attention, to attend, without judgment, is to love. to allow your, quote, self to be as it is. To hold it in your loving attention. To observe what it consists of. How it comes and goes. It doesn't really take words. The words are suggestions, reminders. May I live with ease and grace. May I remember my own true great nature. May I remember to remember. May I be patient and merciful with myself. May my life become one great sigh of gratitude. May I hold myself in sweet compassion. There's a breathing in and breathing out. We say things like breathing in love, breathing out love. What do we mean? Love and awakeness are our natural state. We don't need to make them happen. We can't. We just realize them. Think of someone that you love easily. Where are they really right now? They exist really in your heart and mind. The same open, spacious acceptance that we learn to awaken to in ourselves, we bring to this really fantasy of another person. We soften and open. One perspective is that we practice metta and karuna, love and compassion, as a corrective for our own consciousness. It's not about affecting someone out there. Ultimately, there isn't even someone out there. There's this moment. and to come into balance, we remember our true nature, which is love and compassion. Breathing in the realization of that which you really are. Breathing out with the wish, may all beings everywhere share in the merits of our practice. May all beings everywhere the cat in your lap, the parent who died 30 years ago, the child who's taxiing for liftoff, the people on all sides of all conflicts. Resting, as Ruth Denison would always say, resting in the beauty of your being. Bhavatu sabe mangalam, bhavatu sabe mangalam, bhavatu sabe mangalam, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Don't abandon mindfulness when you open your eyes. Why not notice the miracle of seeing? And then as your eyes may, if you can see well enough to form faces out of these images, why not be mindful of the fact of perception, of recognition, of association, of the thoughts that happen? What are we if we're not aware, or awareness? Events keep happening, it would appear, in this dream of a life. People keep appearing and having a meal with us and then disappearing. I was waiting for a friend at a restaurant yesterday. He's always exactly on time. A minute, maybe, either way. And I got there 15 minutes earlier, so sort of by accident. And I had a sudden impulse. And I deleted all the news things off my phone. It's a disease that I have. It's a madness. I want to keep up with the soap opera of the world. I have thoughts of I'm not being responsible if I don't, even though I have no control over any of it. No influence even. So again, I don't know if I come to my senses. Who knows? Maybe this afternoon I'll put them back on. It's so easy. But there's so much more time and bandwidth. Bad stuff is happening. Good stuff is happening. Some of you probably weren't here yesterday. I'm sure you weren't. I was the MC for the Brighton Bush Hot Springs fundraiser, and we raised close to $45,000 Friday night through Sunday. So the phoenix is rising from the ashes. I'm going to go down and spend a night with Peter sometime soon. Peter, the CEO. So I don't want to do announcements other than that. We have a few minutes if you have something you'd like to share, question to ask, songs of praise for the mystery of being alive.
I have something kind of fun to share. I got on the PIMC listserv finally and was reading through old emails. And in April, Robert, somebody had sent you something that you forwarded on to the group about somebody's doctoral study in Germany, and that they were doing a survey on long-term meditators. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember, yeah.
Yeah, so I was curious to see what this survey was about, and so I went ahead and did it yesterday. If anyone else is interested, it's in April, so it wasn't that long ago that came out. But I did the survey because I wanted to be able to give some feedback to someone's thesis study. Also, what I noticed from having done this very extensive survey was it was kind of an inventory of meditation and what I get out of it and what I'd noticed about the way my mind had changed. And it was quite an elaborate set of questions that I felt like I was kind of being graded on the work I had been doing. And yet it gave me kind of a lift to go, wow, yes, I have noticed my mind is quieter. I have noticed that I don't react as quickly. I have noticed very detailed all these things about the way my mind thinks and processes. So it was a good bit of data collection and very uplifting to realize, hey, this meditation thing makes a big difference. So, cool.
If you have it, why don't you send it out to the listserv, and it will... and everybody can share it. And if you want to get on the listserv, one easy way is to write an email to Avi, A-V-I, at portlandinsight.org and say, please put me on the listserv. It's also possible to do it by going to the website. I can't remember how, but it's there somewhere, probably under contact. But the easiest way is that, Avi at portlandinsight.org. And if you forget that, Robert at robertbeatty.com and say, please put me on the listserv, and I'll forward it to Avi. Thank you. But do send it out if you can find it, Sky. That'd be great.
I'll just find where you had done it and then re-forward it again.
Yeah, great. A lot happens in meditation we don't even notice. We just slowly transform and soften. And I make a prediction to people that if you start practicing, and you practice for 20 minutes to half an hour a day for a month, with a few days off. You know what you do when you miss a day, or you blow it completely? You start again. Duh. With no shame. It's like, all right, I'm changing a habit here. But I've heard back from many people that if they practice for about a month or so, someone else will say, I don't know what's different about you, but I don't know, it's easier to be around you, or here's a classic. Something like this. Every Sunday for several years, I've called my mother. I don't like doing it. We always have the same conflictual conversation. And I hang up and I'm sorry we talked. You recognize that? And, I'd feel so guilty if I didn't call her. And then the feedback I get from this person is, I called my mother last Sunday, and I didn't want to. And she did and said all the same things, but I just felt different. I didn't have to criticize. I didn't have to reject her. I didn't have to fight back. I could just let it be. I could let her be. And I hung up, and I was really glad I talked to her. What did I do different? I didn't have the same reactions. It's a powerful medicine. It's a huge intervention in consciousness. So, I sometimes like to say the inflammatory thing that I believe the Buddhist discovery was the greatest discovery that humans ever made. Antibiotics are important. Fire is important. But waking up, human beings having enough time in their reactivity to not stab the person in front of them, to not fire back a nasty email. Whew.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, Hadley.
Just briefly, I want to publicly acknowledge you to this group for the great role you played at Brighton Bush last weekend. I was able to attend a bit of it. And that represents for me the quintessential best that I know in my practice, I want to bring forth a new world to live in, to address the possibility of a great world to live in. And I think Brighton Bush really exemplifies that in my life. And I want to thank you for the powerful role you played in orchestrating and coordinating whatever, I don't know, all that you did, but just your speaking was beautiful. And so thank you for being a stand for the success of a place I love, Brighton Bush.
Thank you, Had. I enjoyed having you there too.
Hi, this is Amy.
Hello, Amy.
Hey. I'll just follow up on what Had said, because I participated in some of the event as well. And the funny thing is, I've never been to Brighton Bush, but I've heard about it for years and have been trying to work up to doing more than a day meditation of Roberts in Seattle, work up to do something longer. And I was really close, and then COVID happened and the fires happened. So I'm looking forward to getting there. But yeah, I did really get a sense of what a special place it was. And there was a moment where I had a day to myself on Saturday. My husband went to take my daughter somewhere, and it was really great to just like go in and out of the presentations. And in the evening, I had to drive to get my husband at the train station, and I don't like to drive on the highway. But the performer, I'm going to forget his name, played
Colin, someone.
Colin, yes. So I was listening to him while I'm driving on the highway, and it was very nice. Yeah, so it was a special event. I also just want to share one other thing. I sprained my ankle pretty badly on Mother's Day, to the point that I'm partly getting around in crutches, and it's going to be a long haul. I think I've sprained before, and I know what I'm in for. Anyway, I'm very grateful for the practice right now, because it's going to, in springtime, when I normally run and garden to stay sane, and there's lots of comings and goings, it's going to take a lot of patience, and I'm very grateful for the practice and for you all to help me through. It forces mindfulness and concentration, I'll say that, because every move I make, I have to think about, how am I going to get from here to there? How am I going to carry? So it really does force mindfulness. Trying to be thankful for that.
I have had 3 times in my life a badly sprained ankle. Not nice. Very. Do you know about the pain release meditation on the website?
No.
If you go to portlandinsight.org and then go to find meditations, guided meditations, there's one that's called Pain Release.
Okay.
And it's actually, it was for years the busiest link on the website. It's ancient, the recording. It's probably 20 years old. But it's pain release, and the next one, I forget what it is, but it's another step in it. But it's a strategy that I learned from Stephen Levine, which has to do with when there's pain, focusing and focusing and focusing. Go deeper and deeper and deeper into the sensations of pain, and notice how they open up into sensations, and the mind yakking, and then go all the way in, and then go all the way out, where there's somewhere in the universe there's this pain. And it's so minuscule given to who you really are. Oh, Dave Mayer. Here's a direct link to the pain meditation in the chat, I think. That's funny. Dave, you're a trip. Look at that tiny little link. That's amazing. I guess they're called tiny links, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, may you get well soon.
Thank you.
Are you icing?
Yeah, I'm icing like crazy, and I'm taking ibuprofen, I'm taking arnica, and I'm not really in a lot of pain if I don't walk on it. So it's more the challenge of of getting around.
Yeah.
Which is something. But thank you.
We have just 2 or 3 minutes before I have to go.
Robert?
I hear someone.
It's Tamara. How are you?
Hello, Tamara.
How's your tooth?
Oh, look, no black
Lovely,
hole.
beautiful. Lovely, lovely, beautiful. I'm sorry I missed your moon poem today.
Oh, well, you want to hear it?
Yes.
That's possible. I think I can find it here. It's Meister Eckhart. The hope of loving. What keeps us alive? What allows us to endure? I think it's the hope of loving or being loved. I heard a fable once about the sun going on a journey to find its source, and how the moon wept without her lover's warm gaze. We weep when light does not reach our hearts. We wither like fields if someone close does not rain their kindness upon us. We weep when life does not reach our hearts. We wither like fields if someone close does not rain their kindness upon us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick about that picture behind me that you were asking about.
Yes.
I did a little sleuthing, and if I have my information right, speaking of war, horrific wars, he painted it in 1923 in the period right after World War I.
Mm.
And also, if I have this right, I tried to do a little cross-researching but couldn't quite find enough information, but he was using techniques to create a sense of harmony.
Uh-huh.
So is that a really interesting, beautiful things can come out of really awful things.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite books is the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And that came he was so influenced by him being in World War I. So I just thought that you guys would want to know that. Beautiful things can come out of really horrible things. And thank you for your beautiful words. And I second your opinion about Robert this weekend, how he did there. So, yeah.
Well, dear ones, I just thought of a new song. Dare we try it? You remember Roy Rogers and Dale Evans? Happy trails to you. Let's try. What's the next line? Until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. I'm going to have to look it up. Goodbye, dear friends. Have a lovely day, and let's enjoy the great grace of mindfulness and love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Robert.
Thank you.
See you in a minute, Jimbo. All right. Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. Hope that worked out okay for you today.